Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and today we got the last of the new raised beds filled, and what I'm going to be showing y'all is how I'm going to set up drip to both of these new beds, and then we're going to go ahead and start planting them up. Okay, so we have been in the process of transitioning a bunch of stuff in the back. We've been covering areas with mulch to try to get rid of the grass. And I installed these two new beds right here where what I'm hoping to do is create a DIY no concrete arch right here, which is going to be at a later video. But what I need to go ahead and do is I need to set up drip to these beds because that's just what works best for me. I'm not very good at remembering to water my flowers or my plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run off of existing drip that I have, and I'll show you how I set it up in these beds, and then we're going to go ahead and start adding some plants to these. All right, so let's talk about some of the supplies we're going to be using, and please, I'm very unorganized stuff for my drip irrigation. Okay, I have two types of tubing. This is a black distribution tubing. It has no emitters. An emitter is what allows the water to come out. This is just solid tubing, and this is just how you get water from one place to another without letting it leak out anywhere. Okay, so I've got that. We're working with 1/4 inch today. This is emitter tubing. It's also 1/4 inch as well, and it has an emitter right like that, and that allows water out. This one allows about 1/2 gallon per hour out and I think these are spaced about every 12 inches from what I can see. So two types of tubing that we're going to work with. Also going to use some landscape pins, and this is what's going to hold my tubing in place. Now, these are straight line barbs, and these work for the 1/4 inch tubing. And this is really what you plug into one end and allows you to connect it to other places, whether you're connecting it to the black tubing, whether you're connecting it to larger tubes, whether you're adding different pieces, maybe you're stringing multiple pieces together. And so these come in handy regarding that. So these are straight line barbs, so we'll be using some of those. Okay, and then we've also got goof plugs, and these are for when you may have accidents and you put holes in the wrong place, they plug them up. This also plugs up the end of the line and prevents any water from coming out the end. So we're going to use that. If we use any additional stuff, I'll let you know along the way, and I'll point that out. And obviously we need a pair of scissors or a good strong pair of pruners. First thing we need to do is we need to attach to a current water supply so we can actually get water to this raised bed. Okay. Ignore my grass that I didn't get all covered up over here. Okay, I've got right here, I've got a line right here. I've got a closed tube line right here, and it is attached to my existing drip lines in this bed right here. And basically, I've got this line, and I can bring it over here. I'll bury it under the mulch, and I'll be able to run it up to my bed. So this used to run to like a container or pot that was right here, right? And it's got emitters on the end right here, but I don't need those emitters yet. I need more of the closed pipe length to run to the bed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off right there. I'm going to use my straight line barb. Add that on right there. And then I'm going to add on more of the clothesline drip right there. All right. And it just goes right up in there. Now let me show you how this is attached to the existing drip. Okay, so right here, this is the pipe that we have coming out. And this is my existing drip that runs all the way through this bed. Please ignore all the sedge grass that I constantly pull up and it never all comes up. You'll know. Those who have it understand, not sedge. And so basically I just put in a line so that I could attach it to this existing. So when water comes through this brown line, it will also go up through this black tubing and run to the bed. Okay, so all I need to do right here is I need to pull apart this mulch and come down and then just cover it up just like that so that it's pinned underneath, right? And then now I've got this going up onto the bed and we can work from there. Okay, so I've got this coming up. Don't need all that extra line. But I am going to be shifting right here to the line that has the emitters, okay? And so basically, I like to leave one of these little things to hold it in place so it just doesn't get out of control. And then I'm just going to go ahead and feed out quite a bit of it to work with. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with that. And basically we need to connect the brown pipe and the black pipe together. So we're using another straight line barb. And now we're connected to the brown pipe, just like that. All right, and we'll go ahead and use a couple of landscape pins to hold this in place. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thread and I'm basically just going to snake this through. I found that that's the easiest for adjustments in the future as needed. And that's what works well for me. Now, some people will create like a grid system. I don't like the grid system as much because it's a little bit harder to deal with or make changes to. Looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and cut this. And I'm spreading these out in about 6 to 8 inches apart. Spread this a little bit. You can that's one great thing about the landscape staples, you can just easily adjust. And I'm giving myself a little bit extra at the end here. A couple of extra emitters. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I'm done with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a goof plug on the end because if I just left this like this, the water would just shoot out, right? So I'm going to put my goof plug at the end and then go ahead and pin that down. Okay, now from this existing drip that's in here, if I have a plant that needs more water than something else, this allows me to go ahead and I can cut into this and add additional emitters in different places as needed. I can run off of this to other different places. I can add on if I want more of the brown line drip. Maybe I want to move this closer and I want to add more on throughout. We can do that too. This allows a lot of different things for you to do. So, and this is, not permanent, so it can be moved around, pulled up, depending on if I'm changing the bed or not. We're just getting started on this bed, so we'll be starting a lot of different things. We're going to do a lot of things that aren't permanent this year. We're going to do a few perennials in here and build up the perennials over the years. But let's go ahead and get the other bed knocked out as well. Okay, so existing drip in here. I've got so many. These are all celosia seedlings that reseed themselves every year. Let me clear this out a little bit. All right, I've already got one running off of here, and that is running to all of my containers that have the gladiolas. So here's brown line right here. So let's show how to get into that. So here's an emitter. I want to kind of go in between emitters. All right, so I'm going to open that up, and I'm using a T-barb. So basically, I'll connect brown and brown over here. Oops. Brown and brown over here, and then I'll be able to run black off of this one. So just put this in. Just like that. Just like that. And now I can run black tubing and run it all the way to the other raised bed. Just like that. Okay, a few things about drip. It's not a one and done, all right? I'm not just gonna put this in and then walk away and ignore it. Especially because this is a brand new bed and brand new setup, I need to check it. I need to check it for water pressure, right? Because I've got a lot of lines run and strung together. And a lot of people have asked me, how long of a line can you run with drip line before it doesn't have enough pressure? That is completely dependent on the water pressure coming out of your faucet, coming out of your spigot. And it really kind of depends on, are you trying to fill 1/4 inch lines? Are you trying to fill 1/2 inch lines? Are they going uphill? How far across are they going? I mean, it really is just dependent on your actual garden and your space. I definitely have lines that are run far more than 100 feet. Still doing fine. I recently discovered one that didn't have as much pressure as I was used to, but then I went and found out that the spigot wasn't all the way on, and once I adjusted that, it filled back up, so it's not an issue. So, do I think that you can go infinitely with drip lines? No. I don't think so. I think eventually you're going to run out of water pressure and it won't get water to all the spaces. With these, I will have to check them very consistently over the next few weeks to see if it's enough water, to see if I need to add additional emitters in different places for different plants. So it will definitely be a little bit of a learning curve. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and see if we have water running to all of these. Okay, just to give you an idea, I have a line that runs all the way up the back and feeds all of this across here. Then I have lines that come down and feed these. And that's where we're going to be feeding these. And look, we got an issue right here. I got a big old leak. So let's deal with that real quick. All right. Shocker, this is where we had the work done. It looks like I've got a tear in the line. So I need to cut that out and replace it. So let's do that real quick. Okay, and that explains why there's so much water right here. So here's the existing line right here. This is a 1/2 inch line that runs back towards the flower beds, and it's got a big old hole busted in it. So I need to come in with my scissors. Actually, I need pruners for this. Okay, so I need to come in here with my pruners, cut this out. Just like that. And I'm cutting out the bad part. It's a very small repair, so not bad. And then I've got a straight line coupler for 1/2 inch piping. I'm going to put this in side and then connect it back to the other side. Okay, let's turn the water on and see if that still leaks. Okay, looks like that is fixed. And I'll have to come back in and dig that and push that back down. And then that line runs right there to that to those raised beds. And looks like we have drip running, which is great. Huh. Okay, I'm not getting drip in here. So let's check that out. Okay, so I'm not getting drip coming out here. If you follow this line back to where it's attached, I am getting drip here. So we definitely have drip there. And we have drip on the other side of that. Yes. Okay, so maybe I've reached my limit on the end of this line, right? Because this line weaves through all of these beds. So what I think I might do is come over here and splice into this one instead. So let's see what happens if we do that. I'm going to cut this line right here. There's no water coming through that at all. And I'm going to go ahead and put a goof plug on the end of it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this line, put a goof plug on the end of that one. I'm not pulling everything up. I can make simple adjustments. So what I want to do is I wanted to splice into this line, which is about halfway. So I've got an existing line in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and make a cut. Definitely have water coming out there. And I'm going to put in a T-barb connecting the opposite lines again. where I made the cut. Take this black line. All right, now I've got water coming out over here. Not much water though. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try plugging directly into this half-inch line right here. So poke a hole. Add my, actually, let me add my 1/4 inch onto the end of this barb. Oops. And then plug in. There we go. Okay, so I think it had reached its limit, so I went to a different system. This is all fed by a different grouping of hoses. I have 3 groupings in this backyard. So I plugged into here, ran my line up, teed up, and now we have drip. So now this bed is good to go. All right, you guys, we got a storm rolling in. And it looks, nothing's happening, but we've got dark clouds coming in. That was a fun video. It was fun to fill the last bed and to work on drip irrigation with y'all and to see y'all, so y'all can see me run into a problem, right? I think that's something that's very important to show the issues and the problems going on with drip irrigation. So I basically just got to the end of my water pressure limit at that point. So I had to rethink where I was going to draw water from the system. And that's something you have to continually check on. Like I said, drip irrigation is not one and done, you're done forever. You have to check on it and make sure it's good to go. So I'm very excited. All right, you all, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this encourages you to check out drip irrigation, to try out some different perennials, definitely trying out some new perennials for me. And I'm just really excited to see what these beds look like over the next few years. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the channel so much. You guys are what grows my channel, not me. So the more you interact, the better it is and helps me out a lot. And be sure to check me out on my social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.